Stars, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey guys, and welcome back here to Snowman86. You join me here for Cattle and Crops, and we are currently working a bit of ground here. So you join me here, we're just after the latest update, which I believe is version 0.9.5, and it's been worked on to, I suppose, improve the graphical play for the game and stuff. So as such, there should be a good few improvements here, and I can confirm that I have turned up the graphic settings a fraction on the system here we're running on, and we have noticed a big difference. We still can't run with the vegetation density set to 2, as it again just causes a little bit of a stutter, but it's not as bad as what it used to be, so there is improvement and they're working on it, which is a great sign to see. One thing I've noticed here as well from tinkering around is the issue with the steering wheel and the GPS system seems to be fixed. I'm able to, which I will demonstrate here at the end of this row, we'll get here, we'll turn with the tractor, and we'll actually put on our HUD, so you see the steering wheel icon on the bottom right of the screen is still on to indicate we're active, and we will use the steering wheel to turn instead of the keyboard, and we should see it kick back in. Famous last words, the one time we'll try that now and it probably won't work, but so far it has been working, which is a great, nice to see they're just working on the bugs all the time and getting things ready. So if we let go somewhere here, you'll see the wheel has automatically been kicked back into action, and we're able to work with our GPS without having to re-hit the keyboard. So that's a nice feature being adjusted as well. There's lots of additions, I suppose, added to this, and the full log, you can see it on the Cattle and Crops page itself. Quite extensive, the amount of work that's gone into this one. Another nice feature now is that you can actually empty tanks, and what we'll do here quickly, if we just stop, we'll stick on our handbrake, and if we just run up here, I believe I've left my class tractor inside here in the shed, and we're just going to demonstrate quickly the nice little feature that's come along. So if we jump in here, so you'll see we get our, which are typical screens. So we have loading and unloading ability here, so we're going to aim for, we can pick our grain silo that we are, our storage point that we want to use. They call it farm grain storage, but I'd say that might change now as well. And we'll pick number 10. We want to unload. This is the type that we have, and you can select the amount as well. So you just hit start and the process tips away. So it does seem like a very simple thing, but from playing previously, anytime you did buy a fertilizer, if you didn't use it all, you ended up kind of losing it, which is a bit annoying, and the same for seeds and stuff. So this now should get rid of that. So if we go back here now just a fraction, you see that kind of bar coming out of the ceiling. So I think we're in and about the range of it. We should be able now to hit load, and we have to select our tank as well. So once you select your tank here on this side, hit the loading section. Again, you can set the limit. The max we can hold in the unit is 3000, and if we leave it at that, you'll see what will happen. And that's the product we want to load. So we just hit start. Not sure, are we maybe too far back? There we go. So it's just missing the trigger slightly. So you'll see it kind of coming out of the spout there. Fortunately, the graphics kind of in a way will go this way, and you can see it just loads up to what we put in the silo, so everything there works as it should, and just a nice little handy feature to have as well, guys. So we're happy with all that, so we'll jump out here again. Also, so far I've not noticed any issues with using the previous save file. I didn't see it anywhere where it said you had to change or start a new game. So we've just kind of pressed on here with the old save file, and it seems to be working for now. And the one thing it did do is all our tire tracks here, if I zoom out, as you'll notice, this has been harvested. And the one thing you will notice is distinct lack of tire tracks, and I believe that is down to the game engine changing. It kind of reset the state of the fields to a degree, so we've lost all our tracks and stuff, but that's not the end of the world. And we kept everything in our bunkers. Money wise, we were kind of running around the same. So all in all, we were kind of hitting the same, as I say, the exact same values and stuff. So we're happy with all that, and the improvements to the game are noticeable. So, and again, a couple of nice features have been added. Also, the mixing feed mix wagging has changed, and that has gone to the hammer, which is Cat and Craft's own version. It's, I suppose, like lizards and joints. So again, you'll see, just trying to turn here again now, again using the wheel, and again it just, for me, it adds to it that the GPS now kicks in after the wheel. Just adds that little bit of realism that I think was, I won't say missing from the last one. It didn't really, it's just a nice little touch to have it here in game. So our plan here for today is we are going to cultivate field 14, which we are currently working in, and also field 15. The idea being that we will hopefully like to get crop into that before the weather turns here and winter kind of sets in. They're probably the best two fields in terms of value of what's the word I'm looking for here, kind of fertilizer, I suppose is the best way of describing it. They've maintained the best kind of nutrient value in the soil, better word again. So that's what we're aiming for. Just kind of lessens the workload that we have to do before the winter hits, and that will enable us a bit of time to kind of see where we want to go with the other fields. Wrong button. In terms, we won't be doing a full maize harvest this year around. We don't need to. I think we've just under 900,000 litres in the BGA silo, so we definitely don't need to be planting all maize again. And depending on how we go with bulls here in the winter, we might also look to maybe add a field to the farm. So, and if we are adding one, I'll just bring up the map here. The one we will add is just here to the left of the farm, and if I click on it, it brings me in here, field 22, valued at 67,000 euros. So that's the field we'll probably end up looking at. So as I say, we currently sit 75,000, so we'll see how we go. As I say, we probably will be selling a couple of bulls in the short run, just to kind of enable the upkeep of the farm and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. We're just going to keep working on this and see how the whole thing kind of fits together here. I haven't had too much time on it. I did test out a couple of the features that were listed on the update, and anything I've noticed since that we've kind of been talking about as well since. So if we come across anything, we'll be sure to notice. But for now, it seems to be working okay. That little floss deliver doesn't quite track through, but again, not the end of the world. Actually, there is one area of the map I want to shoot over and check, and it's over by fields, I want to say it's 39. It's the big field that we bought. There was a kind of a blank section on the map where you couldn't plant or work ground. and there was no grass in an area. It's just like an area of the map that somebody clicked the button on and forgot to undo that click when they were laying down the masks. So we're just going to quickly shoot over and see if that is still the case. So while we do this, we are going to quickly hit Y, and we're just going to turn off those pesky little lines. We'll jump in cab, and we're just going to take a quick little spin. So as I say, I have turned up the graphic settings, and to me, whether this translates in the video or not, I'm not 100% sure. But to me, there's a definite improvement in frame rate and I suppose less kind of jumpiness and lagginess of the whole thing. So I'm just going to spin it this side. We're just going to track down this road. As you'll see, the area in the field I'm talking about up here does kind of a circle effect. And just as we get close, it looks like it's still the same. So we just have this little blank area on the map where it just comes up with there's no grass texture, even though there should be. And I know a couple of the missions used to kind of bring it down this way as well, so there was definitely something here originally. But we're just going to try here, we're just going to come along. So I'm going to say you'll see the ground texture isn't changing. It's keeping our wheel prints where it should be cultivating now, and just to prove that it is I suppose for want of a better term, a bug, we're just going to keep a straight line going here, and when we get to it, you'll see the darker shaded texture here where the crop stubble is. All of a sudden our wheel tracks disappear. So it just leads me to believe that there's still an issue there. Not sure what it is. I say it's obviously something small, no doubt can be fixed. So that is still there. But as I say, I'm sure they have a handle on this. As I say, not exactly game breaking either. The game is quite playable even with that in it. So not for anybody who's alarmed by it or anything like that. Don't be. It's still quite playable. It's just a small bit annoying for those who like to have a field perfectly done. So we're just going to do one more quick test here. So if I let it roll back, you'll see here we'll put our handbrake on. I'm just going to use the mouse here again now. And this section up here, that is our kind of our render in distance, and we have increased it. And I'm just going to, while we're here, we're just going to quickly test this. So we currently have everything set to 210, and the imposer render distance is 180. We're just going to bump this up. We'll go 250, and we're going to go 200, and we'll hit save. And for those keen viewers, then we'll see if that line has pushed out. I'm hoping it has, and I'm hoping again frame rate won't be affected. So we're just continuing, and again we haven't moved. Handbrake is still up, and you'll notice now that the draw distance into or the draw distance of what we can see and how far we can see it has improved, and we don't have that kind of a circle effect. I know that's one of the probably bigger issues sometimes with the Farming Simulator series. You just get this kind of a circle around where you're working that is perfect, and the further you go, depending on the hardware you have, doesn't quite fully draw it in and render it in. So nice to see that we can really bump it out where it's kind of hard to notice where that line is now at 250. And again, my side anyway, I'm not noticing any frame rate drops or stutters. So it just bodes well that they've done such a good job here in what they've been doing with the Tombstone engine, that we'll for the time being we'll give them the credit. Seems to have worked wonders. As I say, I still can't run with the vegetation density at level 2. For me it's just creating too much, and our dog is there, so we're just going to work around them. Yeah, for me it just creates that just too much lag that the game just kind of becomes that little bit unplayable, and it's not as enjoyable then as it should be. So we're going to keep it on the 1, and actually again what we'll do, we'll quickly put on the handbrake, and again we're just going to, again, just in case those who, that's the rest of our values there, and we're just going to bang it up just to show you what we're kind of dealing with when we run it on the value, the second value. Would like to do it. I think it would, if we can get it to a playable stage, definitely good. So here we are, we're just trying to look around our tractor. You'll see very stuttery, and again, as I say, now the detail level does increase. Look at the stalks in the field have greatly increased. But again, for me, I would have to bring my view distance way in, I think, to get this to work. And again, then that leaves us in the position of having what we see out here to the top left of the screen, that kind of a green blur, which is what we don't want, or I personally don't like it anyway. So that's why we are running with vegetation density, this one here. It even does denote that it's an extremely high GPU impact. So for me, not doable. For others, it is possibly doable. I won't say I'm running the best system in the world, but it's nothing, I suppose, shy about it either. It's quite beefy. So it's just a shame we can't quite do it. And as you see, our view, or spinning, becomes a lot more freer now again. So that's where we currently are, guys. So we're just going to press on here. We're looking, as I say, field 14, field 15. We will be planting. It probably will be one of the winter crops if we have one. We do not. Fantastic. So we'll probably pick the likes of summer rye or something and stick it in and see how it goes for the winter. Hoping it work away just fine. That'll be in these 2 fields. Now we still will plant a certain volume of maize, but we will not be doing, as I say, all the fields. We are going to kind of chop and change with crops, see what works best, and just keep experimenting. And just in case those who probably sometimes don't appreciate my driving, you can still drive through the trees. So there's still no collision on the trees, so just bear that in mind. And the same if you come across any kind of large rocks that are out there as well. Again, there is no collisions on them. So sometimes we do take liberties, not always meant, but again, as it's early alpha and we're kind of testing, or I suppose not so much early alpha or early access anymore, it's probably in an alpha stage, and definitely getting close to a beta stage, I'd say. So future's looking good, and we've had this update here on the 10th of March, I believe it was. So again, looking forward into things as they go, looking promising. A lot of the bugs are getting ironed out, and it just, for me, becoming more and more complete every time they go at this game. So definitely I'll be keeping an eye on it, and we'll keep going and see. We keep doing our comparisons. As I say, the next one we're aiming for will be the crop values and see what works out best. Is maize the best thing to be doing, or should we just be planting all the fields of maize and using the BGA and a mixture of cattle as they currently are? And it's one thing I haven't checked before since the update is the pricing of cattle to go to sell them. But also, for me, I found the best ways to make money were the BGA and selling cows. So we'll see if that does get altered. Quick look at the trade. Don't think I read anywhere that prices had been adjusted or changed, and they don't look to be. They kind of look to be around the same. I don't remember reading that they were changing prices, so still looks like the best possible way might be doing all maize, but we're going to experiment with it, see how it goes. We do have also bales to sell and stuff like that, so we'll see what works best for the farm. But for now, guys, I think I've rambled on long enough here about this, so we're going to call it quits here. Hope you've enjoyed it today, guys, and as I say, future is definitely looking promising. If they keep up the good work here, I can't see it only but being a success for them. So kudos to Cat and Craft developers. Keep up the good work, guys. We here at Snowman86 are enjoying it. With all that said, guys, thanks very much today for watching. If you do like what you're seeing, be sure to leave a comment below if I can do anything better. And as always, if you do like and want to see more, guys, please subscribe to the channel. I've been Snowman86, this has been Cat and Crafts, and I'll see you all again. Take care.